The long-awaited remaster for Crisis Core was revealed back in June, with more info being revealed at the Tokyo Game Show this year. The original game so far has been dormant on the PlayStation Portable, meaning if you didn't have access to a PSP, you probably never experienced this game before. As I was revisiting the original game on PSP, I only then realized how much has changed for the better from this reveal trailer alone. The very first change is clearly the visuals. The game looks far better on presumably the Unreal Engine 4 than it did back in 2008 on a portable device. To make the game work on PSP, they had to cut a lot of corners. So far so that some cutscenes in the PSP version were downscaled MP4 files to as low as 272p to fit the entire game on one UMD. Another visual change is the hilt of the Buster Sword, most likely to align with the Buster Sword design from the VII remake. You can also clearly notice that they've changed voice actors.
Zach speaking. So I can cut loose, right?
Zach speaking. I can cut loose, right?
Also most likely to align with the voices they had in VII Remake. Something that might have been a bit harder to hear is that they've re-recorded the music. The music back in the day was also really good, but with this new recording, it does give the music a bit more oomph. Another very small thing I've noticed is that they've changed some lines in the game. Most of them are identical to the original release. However, there is at least one change in the trailer. While Zack is on the phone with Angel, in both the original version and the remaster version, he asks, "I can cut loose, right?"
I can cut loose, right?
However, the answer from Angel is different in the remaster version. In the original version, he says, "Use some discretion," while here in the remaster he says, "Within reason," instead. But by far the biggest change to the game that was not the graphics was definitely the gameplay. Right at the start, you can see Zack dashing towards the enemy and starting off a combo. Back on the PSP version, Zack would run towards the enemy and do one hit after the other, instead of doing a combo attack. This fighting style clearly takes inspiration from the FF7 remake. In OG, every consecutive hit you do on an enemy changes the way Zack slashes his sword. So combos do exist, but not as elegantly as shown here. On the Behemoth fight, you can see Zack attacking with his sword, but immediately use his materia afterwards, which makes him jump back and then use the materia. In the original, after the regular attack, Zack would just be standing there and cast his spell. This brings us to the battle menu as a whole. In vanilla, you had a bar with an attack prompt which you can use to attack with, an item prompt where you could choose and use all your items from, and any materia you currently have equipped. However, in the remaster, the only thing constantly on screen is an item menu. There doesn't seem to be an attack prompt anywhere, so I do think attack might have gotten its own dedicated button. The materia itself also is accessed via a shortcut menu. On which button this will be accessed is still unknown, but considering the game draws inspiration from the remake, I do believe it's going to be on one of the shoulder buttons. As a side note, in the vanilla version, the shoulder buttons L and R were used to rotate the camera to the left and right, because the PSP only had one control stick dedicated to walking, meaning the remaster will add 360-degree camera control for the game for the first time. This allows the entire dev team to use 4 additional shoulder buttons for gameplay optimizations. There might be a lot more in terms of optimization that I might have missed, or we just haven't seen so far. We have to wait until Tokyo Game Show to see more, but it's safe to say that this is a really ambitious remaster, which is worthy of the word remake rather than remaster. But I guess they say remaster because calling it a remake could cause confusion with this FF7 remake. That's all for this video. Thank you for listening.